Well, welcome. Welcome to the Extraordinary Drummer Show. As you know, I'm your host, Cheron Moore. I always say today, today, today. Well, my guest today, I tell you, he's the reality for all us drummers. He's the guy that we go back to say, hey, my left hand is slowing down. What's going on? I just love him. I love talking to him. I love praying with him. I love who he is. I love that he is. He's a chaplain. He's a drum teacher. We might say drum instructor. He's doing some great work with the kids over at the schools. At times he does clinics and so much more. And we're going to talk about his credits, his history. But right now, would you help me welcome to the Extraordinary Drummer Show, a drummer's drummer, Manton Daley. Hey, Manton.
Yay!
Welcome to Extraordinary Drummer Show.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for inviting me.
I thank you for being here. Let's go all the way back and start with your history. You're from Jamaica, West Indies?
Yes. I was born in Jamaica, West Indies, in a little parish called Linstead St. Catherine. Linstead St. Catherine is located right in the middle of Jamaica, between Kingston and Montego Bay, where the real people live. The tourists, they like hanging out in Kingston, and they like hanging out in Montego Bay and Ocho Rios. So I'm away from the tourist area and live right in the heart of Jamaica. I started, drums at the age of, I could say 4, and started playing in the St. Helens Youth Marching Band when I was 5. So that's where it all started for me.
Manton, do you remember when you got your first drum kit?
It was the end of my 10th grade. But my godfather, that was my pastor at the time, asked me what I wanted for my 16th birthday. So I told him that I wanted a set of drums. So he looked at me and he goes, okay. And it was an old school pastor that did not even believe in drums being at the church. But he took me under his wings and he practically raised me as a father. And he invested in me. So when I told him I wanted a set of drums, that Friday when I went to Bible study, he told me to open the door. And there was my first drum set. It was a set of Whitehall back in the day, the Whitehall drum set. And it was red sparkle with a blue sparkle floor tom. I'll never forget it. And I had trash top cymbals. If drummers know, if we know what the trash top cymbal is, it's a cymbal that is made out of practically tin, that it just warps and you can break them easily or bend them and they just look like a mess and sound like a mess. So I had a pair of hi-hats, a ride cymbal, and a crash.
In high school, did you do the marching stuff, the drum and bugle corps?
In high school, I did high school marching band. So when I went to LA City College, I was going to major in art, and I transferred. Someone told me about El Camino Community College, and that they have a real good music program. So because it was closer to the high school, I went there and I auditioned for the applied music program. And at the time, I was the first person of color that made it to their applied program.
When you started teaching, did you feel like you was ready or you dived into it?
it happened so it happened kind of smoothly because I went back to the high school I graduated from. So it wasn't a strange campus I was going to. I went back to where I graduated from.
And Tom, were you doing any live work around town on the trap kit, playing gigs and things at the same time?
Yes, yes. At the time, I did stuff like, you remember the Black Family Reunion? That big thing they had, Black Family Reunion, they used to have it every summer. My band was a headline band for that. And I played with everybody from Chiefs and Tribes reggae band. It was an African reggae band, and they were really good. And I played with Redemption 7 for the Joe Higgs Reggae Festival, and I've done quite a bit.
Let's move over and talk a little drum talk. What endorsements are you doing and so forth?
I'm a Vader artist. I play these. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a rounded tip. The reason why I play this is because when you play a lot of buzz rolls and press rolls, even on the drum set, you need sticks that reminds you of a marching band stick. And this crash is my absolute favorite crash. I can crash on it, I can ride on it. So if I was going to go to a gig where the stage is so small and I can only take one cymbal, I'll take this one. So it's the HHX Extreme Crash. And that one is a 20. So I'm a Sabian educator artist. I'm a Vader education artist. I'm a Remo education artist. Who am I missing? No Nut Cymbal Sleeves. DW Drums. And this real cool company. Let me say it correctly. It's the Creative Instrument Studio, Fire Ants drums, and this one is this thing is heavy. It's a 6mm carbon fiber shell. Am I forgetting someone? Oh, Dynasty Marching Drums, and that's the one in front of me. These drums, it's a sexy drum. So these are not only they're not just endorsements, those are my relationship that I've built with other companies. And that's what drummers need to know. It's not about endorsement. It's about the relationships you form along the way. So yeah, those are my endorsements.
And staying with a little drum talk, what's your approach to the drum kit? What's your theory? What are you thinking? How do you approach the drum kit mentally as you begin to play?
Lyrical. And keeping everybody on task. So you have to balance playing a good groove, but playing melodically as well.
Manton, let's do this. It's a thing in the show we do. You know what it is. We call it word of advice. We ask the drummers if they would leave a parting word of advice for the up and comer drummers, even the guys at the next level, but guys that are trying to get traction in this game, trying to get to the next level here. Would you leave them a word of advice, please?
Always remember it's not about you. It's about the music. Is to practice and hone your craft. Spend the necessary time to practice. I know this might not be very popular, but learn to read music. You know, when you learn to read music, it opens your world up to be able to see music differently. So you can paint the music differently. And I use that term, painting the music. Bruce Jacoby told me, he said, everybody on the roster is a part of this quilt. So the quilt is the Remo family. It's a big quilt. But every drummer, every educator, everybody on the roster add their part to the quilt. So as a drummer, you learn to paint and to put your dot on the music and with the group. And for you're not the group, you're a part of the group. You're part of the family of musicians. So learn how to read music, it helps. Learn how to approach your instrument as an accompanist. And when it's time for you to shine, you get that time. But just knowing when and when not to, stop playing all over the place. If you try dancing to that, you don't know what to dance to. People have to know where one is. And and I understand everybody want to be a soloist and everybody want to do this thing. But it gets tiring when you listen to it and you're all over the place because it turns people's brains off after a while. So just knowing that you're part of the quilt, just knowing that you're a part of that music, that wonderful thing called music that is life and that has spirit and it has a soul. And just knowing that you are a great part of it because you get to keep everybody gelled together.
How did you become a chaplain? How did that come about?
I knew God had called me to the ministry when I was 16.
Manton, what do you want your legacy to be said, to be told?
After 38 years of teaching, before I answer that, one of the cool projects I'm working on now, and I have one thing that I don't want to say too much about because I want it to come to fruition, but it has to do with a drumline for the county of LA. You know, providing help to kids in the community and put them in a mass drumline. And I've been teaching on Zoom to kids in Jamaica with the marching bands for the past. I taught music theory and practicum, teaching them how to play drums and stuff. And that has been very rewarding because I get a chance to see Jamaica every day, pretty much, without traveling to Jamaica. And the kids are incredible. My teaching assignment that I had before that, I was at Serra High School. In my last for 7, going 8 years. And my last 4 years, I got a group of girls from the 9th grade that I put together a dance squad for the Drumline, but they wanted to learn to play drums. They'll come in the band room, migrate in the band room, and they'll hit on the drums. And I pretend like I wasn't watching them. And, you know, I eventually one day I'm like, okay, you want to play? And they're like, yeah, but I can't play. I didn't ask you that. Do you want to play? They're like, yeah. And they turned out to be one of my best drum squads. It was 9 girls on the drum line and 1 boy. And then I got another young man, which made it 2. But this particular drum line, academically, it was one of the smartest group I've had. They made the principal's honor roll every grade period for 4 years straight. And my 2 kids that struggled over the 4 years, I sent them to tutoring and they got them back together. One of the things that a lot of people didn't know I was doing for the kids, Serra High School, they have to pay to go. And what I did was I went to the alumni office and I said, look, you're helping football players, you're helping basketball players, you're helping to pay their tuition. You want us to perform football season and basketball season. My kids are playing for this school all year long. So guess what? Just like you help them, I want you guys to help our students. So I quietly had their tuition supplemented by the school. But I didn't tell anybody I was doing it. Because I felt like if the parents have to shell out the whole money while other kids are getting help, they're providing the entertainment. So they should, you know, so that was a rewarding thing. So in the 38 years I've done this, I've had kids who have gone off to do great things. One of them is on the school board for LA Unified. A couple of my students are the historically Black universities now in their drumline. I've had kids that have gone off to play for the military. Some of them are teachers as well. Some of them are teaching music. So my legacy is to have taught 38 generations of young people, you know, and for them to have gone on and keep the legacy and to do what they do now, you know, that's my legacy. You know, it's because they have now gone on to teach others and create disciples of their own. So it's to watch my life duplicate into others, that duplicate into others. And, you know, that's my legacy. It's someone, you know, I want to be remembered as, you know, Mr. Daley was hard on us, but he cared. He cared. You know, you know, all of my kids, I can say, I've gone on to doing great things. You know, one of my former students, have played with Shaka Khan, George Duke, and several other people. I have kids that went off that they're still touring the world. I have kids that are teachers. It's to be able to share myself and for them to now disciple others. And that's what it's about. It's not about nothing else but that. It's to give in all of them, and for kids to say, there's one thing about Mr. Daley. He gave all of them so we can have and we can be successful. And, that's what it's about. It's been many nights, it's been many days. I've had to go to kids' homes and help to straighten them out with their parents. And, they get in trouble at home. Parents come to the school, they talk to me about it, and help them to get back on track. And, kids that had to go to court, and I took off work to go to court with them because when I worked at Fremont Continuation, one of the kids came into the music class. The kid was new to the school, and the kid had all fails. And kid walked in, he was sagging, walked into the band, walked into the music room, and he goes, "I want to take your class." So I said, okay. So I said, these are my requirements. These are the grades you're going to have to stay in the class. And the young man looked at me and he go, okay. So I said, when I see you tomorrow, I want to see you with a 3-ring binder notebook. I want to see you with this. I want to see you with that. So fast forward, the kid came in with all fails. And in 3 months, the kids turned his grades around, being in the music class, to all A's and B's. And he was going to court, and he says, "Mr. Daley, can you go to court with me?" And I'm like, "Why are you going to court?" And he said, it was something that happened in the past. And I said, "Can your mom go with you?" And he was like, "My mom don't care." "Can somebody go with you?" They said, "For all they care, I could be in jail." And it was the same day that my adopted mom was going to have surgery, that same day. And I'm like, "Kid, my mom was about to have surgery. And, that same day, I need to be at the hospital." And the Lord told me, "Go take care of the kid first." So I put the kid in the car, drove the kid to court, met the DA, and I said, "Look, I'm Mr. Daley's music teacher. This is what his grades were before he came. When he first came in, this is what his grades are now. So if you lock him up, I can't do anything with him." And the DA said, "Well, you're the first district employee that ever came and speak on behalf of a kid like this." And he sent him back to the school. And, these are just some of the examples of making a difference in kids' lives. I didn't give up on it. I was there when his family decided not to deal with him. So, that's what I want my legacy.
Wow. It speaks for itself without you saying a word. Let me say thank you so very much for being on the Extraordinary Drummer Show.
You're welcome. My pleasure, man. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Will you help me wave goodbye to all of the fans out there?
See y'all later.
Thank you, Chaplain.
You're welcome, my brother. You're welcome, man.